Welcome everyone. We're starting today day 2 and we're going to discuss the essentials of modeling inside Revit, how to create your own files, how to set up Revit from the beginning and how to set it up in the correct way. So this is a quick introduction about me. If you haven't attended yesterday, I'm an expert of Revit. I have the Autodesk Revit Professional Certificate, and I'm also a certified instructor for Autodesk, and I'm teaching since 16 years now. I'm also an architect and a project management professional. Today we're going to discuss the essential terms inside Revit. What are the terms that we need to understand if we're just starting to learn Revit? And we will actually create Revit elements, floors, walls, doors, etc. And we'll see how we can edit dimensions in plan, we can transform walls, how we can create different shapes of elements. Just a quick overview, of course. And we're going to learn about the selection tools as well. All right, so I'm going to switch to Revit now. Okay. So I'm starting from a new file, and to create a new file, I'll just go to models, or if you're using a different version, an older version of Revit, it will be named projects instead of models. And I'm going to start with a new model file. Now, the first thing Revit asks for, what template am I going to use? And if I want to start a project or a project template. The issue that everyone, almost all beginners face at the beginning is they don't set up Revit in a correct way, and then they end up either with the wrong template or with no templates at all. So if you see on your screen when you're starting a new file, if you see none and you cannot see any of these, that means you're missing all the template files necessary. If you want to fix that issue, I'm going to send you a link to one of the posts I've written before on BIM blog. And in that link, I introduce you to the importance of templates and what to do if it's missing. You can simply download it from Autodesk website and install it to your PC. Most important is you must have the correct templates. And what I mean by the correct templates is templates differ from one standard to another. Like in some countries, they use feet and inches, and in others, they use metric system. And if you end up with the wrong template, you will see that all the families you're using and everything inside your file will be the wrong units. So you have to start with the correct template. I'm going to start with the architectural template for now, and I will show you where you can find your templates to make sure that you have the right templates or not.
Sorry, architectural template and then create new project or project template?
I'm starting a new project.
New project, okay, that's fine, thank you.
Yep. So if you click the file menu or the Revit icon in previous versions, you will see that we have options here at the bottom. And from this options button, it will open the options menu. Inside, you'll see file locations at the left side. When you select file locations, it will show you the location of templates you're currently using. These are the templates I'm using right now: construction template, architecture, structure, and mechanical. And these are set up by default to the program. If I want to reorder any of these, if I'm using the architectural template more often, then I have to push that row up, and it will automatically be the first template to use whenever I create a new project. If I don't want to use any of them, I can simply remove it, or I can add more templates. Usually templates are found in this location. At the left side, you will see library, detail library, and all that. I can select any of these options. I'll go up to Revit model, Revit 2020, and you can see now the templates folder where I have US Imperial, US Metric, and I have generic as well. If you cannot find these folders, then you need to definitely read through my post, and you'll see the link to Revit templates, how you can download the Revit content, because you'll be missing a lot. It's not just templates. If you're missing templates.
Sorry.
Yep.
How did you select templates? How are you going to that file?
Well, that file is inside program data, and that program data folder is usually hidden. So if you don't have it, you can type in, like I can go to C and then type in program data.
If I just go to my Revit file, I'm not supposed to find it.
Where are you supposed to find the template, you mean?
I mean, when I downloaded the Revit, I have a file with some subfolders. So I suppose that the program data should be in that file, but I cannot find it.
No, it's usually set up in a different location. It's not in the same location like Revit. So it should be in C program files. Sorry, not C program files. It's C program data, and then Autodesk Revit 2020 and libraries or templates. This one. So you should have both these files.
I don't have it. I think I don't have it.
Okay, I can show you later how to download it. I can send you an email, or just send me a reminder about this by email. I'll send you the link. So from the templates folder, I can select whatever template I need to start with. Let's say electrical template. I need to add this to my list, and now I have the correct templates to start with. At the bottom, you'll also see places. When you click places, you'll see the location for your library where you have to store all your blocks, your families, all the components you're going to use inside your project. And this is also very essential. It's important to make sure that you have these correct. Sometimes if you don't take care while setting up. I'm sorry?
How do I open the options tab?
Options tab. It's from the file menu options. File menu options. They have a question? Okay.
I was saying it's Emmanuel. I was saying, if I may to chip in, one of the documents you sent, Introduction to Autodesk Revit, has got all the information you are talking about right now. If she could have printed that, it will be easier for her to see where you are at.
Yes, this is why I sent that introduction file, and if you study that manual, you'll see all what I'm explaining right now. Yes. Okay, so make sure that you have the library and detailed library setup, and make sure that it's correct. If you're used to the imperial system, then don't use the metric. Then I have to switch from the metric system to imperial, and then click open to change. But of course, I'm not going to do that because I'm used to using metric system. Okay, so is that clear for everyone?
So for me that I have inches, and that's how I should change it from inches to metric system, by changing the template.
Well, there is another option that you can use, but it will fix your issue temporarily. It doesn't fix the whole issue. Like you can.
Every time I open a new file, I should do that procedure. Open the right template I want to use.
Yes, but if you set it up in the right way, like we did right now, then you don't need to set it up again. I just do it once, and I don't have to do it again. From file locations, you tell it that my default template is this one, the default metric template, and then you will start every time with the right template. Okay.
Sorry, can you open that options tab again? I did not follow that actually.
Okay. Options. The file locations.
And which option should be first? So to have metric system.
You have to select the correct template. This one. You have to make sure that it's the correct template. If it's not, you can click that small button and change it. You can change it from templates. If you have both imperial and metric, then you can select whatever you like.
I can't find my template file, so.
Okay, just send me an email afterwards. I'll make sure to take care of it. Okay.
So I should change the default path for user or the family template file. Which one I should change?
You have to make sure that you have the template from here, from add value, and you can add any of these. Yes.
Okay.
And make sure that you have these folders, otherwise you cannot do this. Okay. So with that done, now I have the correct template. I can start creating my design or explaining how we can use the tools inside Revit. The other option I was talking about is units. For some people, it's a bit tricky to use millimeters, so they prefer to use meters instead. If you need to set this up to meters, you have to go to manage, and from manage you select the unit setup, the project units. There is a shortcut for this, which is UN, and you can also find it here, settings, project units.
Sorry, Mustafa, you know what happens? I think that what happens is that we can't see your cursor, so we don't know where you're going. It's time to click the tab.
Okay, well I did not click anything. I actually clicked the shortcut, UN.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's this.
It just appears and we can't follow the cursor.
Okay,
So
let me share in a different way. I'm going to share my whole screen. Maybe now you can see better.
Yeah, now yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So from settings, project units, this is where you can change your units. Instead of millimeters for length, for example, I can change it to meters, and maybe I need some more precision, so I'll add 2 decimal places to my meters, and I don't need any unit symbol. You can add M for meters.
Show me where the settings was to get that again, please.
Okay, the settings is in manage.
Oh, that's it, manage. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. The same goes for area, volume, angle, and everything. So you can change all the units you're going to use throughout the project. And this depends only for that project. So you're not changing the whole program settings. You're only changing it for that project. And it makes no difference at all for printing purposes. So if your office is used to printing dimensions in millimeters, that's okay. You can still use meters for drawing. And then, okay, someone is raising a hand. Muhammad, do you have a question? Okay. So you can still draw in meters, create your model in meters, and then plot your dimensions in millimeters. It makes no difference at all. Okay, going back to the architecture tab, and we're going to start with introducing the elements that you can actually model inside Revit. You'll see that the ribbon menu is divided by vertical lines like this, and each section has its own name. So this section is called build, that section is circulation, and then we have model, room and area, opening, And it actually depends on the version that you have and how you set up your Revit. You might not see all these. Area and room, for example, is not available in Revit LT, the light version of Revit. So going back to the first section, build. If I select the first tool, wall, now Revit is asking me to click to enter the start point. Can you see the left corner, the left bottom corner? It says click to enter wall start point. It is very important to take care of that area, especially if you're learning Revit as a new user. So I'm going to click to place my cursor, and then I'm going to move in any direction. And you can see the dimensions are displayed in millimeters as I set it up. Then I can type in, let's say 6,000. Click enter. Then I can move in any other direction. Type in the new dimension I need and continue drafting my plan. So right now I'm creating a plan for a small room. And you can see that Revit is helping me with these extension lines to make sure that everything is aligned. So if I need to create another wall that is aligned with the first one, I can simply align to those dashed lines that appear. To stop creating any more walls, you simply click Modify button at the top left corner or press Escape twice. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, if I want to change the dimensions of my plan after I've created it, you simply select any of the walls you need to move and then click its dimension. So it's 4,400 millimeters away from that wall. I can change that to a different number. And the blue lines that you can see, these are active dimensions, in a sense that whenever you click any of them, change it, it will change something in your plan. So make sure that you don't change it by accident. If you click that small button, that will make it a permanent dimension, meaning that this dimension is now going to appear even if I don't select my elements, and it will also print out with my plan. To move any of your elements, you need to first select it. So let's see how we can actually select elements. If I need to select a single element, you simply click it with the left click mouse button. If I need to select more, then I'm going to press the control button, and you can see that my cursor now has transformed. It has a plus icon near to it. I can click on more elements to select them. So this is one way of selection. If I want to subtract from my selection, you simply click Shift. And now I can remove some of the elements from my selection. Another way, I'm sorry?
You said to make subtractions, you click?
Shift. Shift. So
Shift.
it's either Control or Shift. Control to add and Shift to subtract. Okay. Another way of selection is going to be by window. And window selection happens when you click and drag using your left mouse button. And you can encircle all of the elements like that to select all of them. You can also select from the opposite side, from right to left, and this will create that dotted window. which selects anything that it cuts. So even if it cuts part of that wall, it will still select it, while the other side doesn't work the same way. It only selects the elements that are completely within the window.
So this selection type is the one similar to 2D essentials.
Yes, it's similar to what we use in AutoCAD. Yes.
Yes.
Now we have the tools for selection, but make sure that the element that you have created is it's not a 2D element. You have to understand that it's not a 2D element. What we have created right now is a 3D model. If I go to 3D view from that button, you can see that my levels appear in 3D, and I can also see the elements I have just created, these two small rooms. If I want to switch back to plan, I'm going to press Control Tab.
Control.
You have a question? Control Tab, yes. Or if you can see these tabs on top, if you're using Revit 2020, then you can simply switch between these tabs.
Okay.
I prefer using shortcuts because it makes things faster. Now you have noticed that in 3D, my elements seem to be a bit, my walls seem to be a bit taller than level 2. So it's reaching further more than I actually need. Everything in Revit is linked to levels. So if you select these walls, you can see at the left side in its properties, it's showing that it starts from the base constraint level 1. It starts from level 1, and it goes up to a top constraint that is unconstrained. I'm going to, okay. So you can see at the left side that the top constraint, it says unconnected, and the unconnected height is 8,000 millimeters. I can change that from unconnected to level 2. Now, if you don't have a template at all, and if you have started your file without any templates, then you probably will not see level 2 or any other levels. So that's why we have one of the reasons why we should start with the correct template from the beginning.
Now I have a question.
Yes, sure.
Mostafa, I have a question, please.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, okay. Hi, this is Dina.
Hi, Dina.
What if while I'm drawing like what you did right now, and suddenly I found that one of the cubes or the shapes is exceeding the limit of the level 2. So I would like to change either the limit or the height of the limit or the shape itself. Can I do that?
Yes, definitely. This is what we're going to do right now. So if I need to change the height of these walls, you can see at the left side, what I've just done is changing the top constraint from unconnected to level 2. Once you do that and click apply, the height is now matching exactly level 2. The same can be done to these walls. By the way, another way of selection is hovering.
Sorry, Mustafa.
Yes, sure.
Hello. I don't have a 3D option in my window.
Okay, if you don't have it, then you have to switch to view and then click 3D view.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to select connected walls like these, there is another option that you can use, which is tab. Just move your mouse near that wall, click tab, just click it once, don't hold it, and then you can select all these walls. And this makes it easier to select any number of walls like this. As long as they are connected, I can just click tab and then click with my mouse to select it. This is another way of selection. Now I can change it again to level 2. Now, instead of doing this again and again, when you start creating your wall, you'll see in the options here, the options bar, that the same option is displayed, which is height. It says it's unconnected. You can change it to level 2, and now all my walls are going to be in the correct height.
Sorry, can you show that again, how you found these properties?
Okay. Whenever you start creating any of the elements, let's say a wall, this options bar display.
Ah, so I have to click first.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. This bar depends on the type of element you're creating. So, for example, if I'm creating a door, then the options bar is going to show something else. If I'm creating a wall, then I will see the height levels and whatever I need. Notice also that we have location line, which indicates where the location line for the reference line for your wall is. So by default, it's wall centered line. You can change that to be the core face exterior or interior, or finish face exterior or interior. In the full course, we explain exactly what are these and the components of walls, but today is just an overview, so we have to continue to other elements as well. Now, the second element I want to show you is doors and windows. Doors and windows are different from walls, that they are hosted elements. And that means they always need a host. If I select a door to model it, I cannot just place it anywhere in the space. I have to place it on a wall. Otherwise, you'll see this icon, which stops you from doing anything. Once you click on any wall, the door will be placed here, and it's going to be like an opening inside the wall. To switch the door leaf, you can simply click space. So just tap on the space bar, don't hold it. If you hold it, you'll see this. You don't need to hold it. Just tap on the space bar, and then you will see that it's flipped. If you want it to open to the outside, just move your mouse a little to the other side and it will flip. The same can be done even if you have already created that door. I can go back to select the same door and use these arrows to switch its direction. Now you can see in 3D that these doors have been created and we already have an opening in our wall.
Sorry, Mostafa, just a quick question. When you are in the 3D view, how these lines of the height are appeared on your screen? The dotted lines of the levels.
If you're using a previous version like 2018, these will not display.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, level lines are only displayed in massing in 2018, but now it's visible everywhere. Okay, so going back to doors and windows.
Question.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry for interruption.
Okay.
For the doors, that's much easier than the AutoCAD, the 2D CAD, I mean. But regarding the 3D, when you came to the view for the 3D, I think it wasn't subtracted from the walls. Looks like that it's closed, right?
No, it is a door. Let me change my graphic style to shaded, and you can see the difference. This is a different material. Yeah.
As well for the window?
Yeah, it's the same. If I create a window here, it's going to be the same. Windows have transparent material, so you can see through.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so these two elements and you will see more like this when you practice using Revit. These are hosted elements. As we agreed, it has to be created on a host. The next element that we can use is component. And components are usually used for furniture pieces. It can be even a detail item. It can be a structural element. These are components. If you want to create a component, then you click that option. And then from the left side, you can select which component you want to create. This is the type selector on top of the properties panel. If you click it, you will see all the elements that are already loaded.
Sorry,
Yes.
Mustafa, how can I get my property bars in my window? Because I don't have it.
Okay, if you don't have it or you close it by mistake like that, you can
Alright.
simply right click and click properties. Then it will appear.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
if you don't have the project browser, you're welcome. Thank you for the good question. Also, you can show the same from view user interface, and you can see here that we don't have the project browser anymore. I can check it to make sure that it's there. It's a bit tricky for in the beginning, because some people tend to make it floating like this, and then they don't know what to do with it. If it's floating like that, then you have to select it, drag it, and move it to one of the sides. You can see when I move it to one of the sides, it will dock. Now it's docked in place. This is the right way to keep it. Some people prefer to put it on top of each other like this, or another way to do it is
So how to do it?
two
To
taps.
each other, please.
How to do what?
Put them the top of each other.
Top of each other. You just have to drag it until you see the location that you need, like that.
Oh.
It's a bit tricky in the beginning, but you'll get used to it.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, going back to architecture, so we selected component, and now in the properties panel, you can see that we can select only a limited variation of elements are here, but if you need more, then you simply go to load family, click load family. And then switch to the folder that you need. Let's say I need a furniture piece, a table maybe. And let me show you one of the smart components that I've created before. So this is a dining table. I've created that in 2004, so it's upgrading the model. Now, once you go into plan view, you want to create that, just click it and make sure you don't click too many times, because then you'll start creating duplicates of the same element. I'm gonna undo that and just press escape once you have created it with a simple one click. In 3D, you can see that element. And one of
sorry,
the
Mustafa,
sure.
Where did you find the load elements?
Where did I find the load element? Okay, so first you have to click component.
Yes.
And then click load family. Can you see that green bar now? The modify place component?
Yes, but I don't see the load. Maybe because I haven't created anything, or it should be appeared.
Have you selected this by mistake? The model in place?
No, I will try again.
Can you select?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah. Can you select any of your model elements, or is it gray?
Okay, I found it. I found the load family.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, Mustafa.
Sure.
If we need more furniture, where we can download them?
Yes, I have the answer for this.
Okay.
Yep. There is Revit City and BIM objects. These are. Yes, I'm going to just post it to the chat.
Just because, you know, okay, thank you. Just because I'm an interior designer and I deal with furniture, basically.
I see.
So I just need more furniture that we have now.
Yeah, probably you'll also be interested in installing Inkscape plugin because it's very good for interior renderings as well. It enhances Revit capabilities.
Can we download furniture for free?
Yes. These two are free. It's completely free. Yes. Someone had a question. Okay.
If I want to create a furniture from scratch,
okay,
may I do it?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, going back to our furniture piece. Now we have the furniture piece that we've created, and you can see at the left side that I can change its type to have 6 chairs, 8 chairs, and maybe 10 chairs. So this is how smart the Revit blocks are, the Revit families. Usually in AutoCAD or previous technologies like CAD, you cannot simply do that. But in Revit, you can easily do that. The same goes for doors and windows. If I select any of the elements, I can change its size. I can also edit that type and change the size to something custom, whatever I like. But before you change anything, make sure that you duplicate it or make a copy of that.
Sorry, how did you find that these
Okay.
properties?
Whenever you have an element, let's say a door, you want to change its size. Maybe that size is not okay with my design. So I need to go to edit type, and I can duplicate it. Let's say I need a 900 door by 2200 millimeter. And I usually like to keep the same system of typing to make sure that everything is in order. And then I have to change its height.
So by that, I just change the specific component. I don't change the library. If I don't duplicate, I will change the dimensions of the original.
Yes, you're going to change the original element. Sometimes we need that in a project. If my door is like that, let's say it's 915, I don't need that fraction. So I need all the 915 doors to be just 900. So I can simply click edit type and change this to 900 without duplicating, just to make sure that all the doors of the same type are matching with this. And this doesn't change your library. It only changes the models inside this project, not in the whole library. Okay. So going back to plan.
More question.
Sure.
When I open my file from the beginning, I have inches, and however I change the units by the shortcut, because I didn't put the template.
All the elements are in inches.
Everything exactly.
Yes,
So
yes, that's the issue.
I just want to understand that the right way is to use the template if you want to have
exactly
metrics.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an issue from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's better to use the correct template. So going back to our plan view, now I want to create something different. Let's say a floor. And for floors and similar elements like ceiling, roof, floor, railing as well, these are all sketch-based elements. What I mean by sketch-based elements is when I create a floor, it goes into a sketch mode. Inside this sketch mode, everything is gray. I cannot select anything. I have to create the sketch for my floor, which I can do by picking walls. These are the options for drawing the sketch for my floor, the 2D outline of my floor. I can use pick walls, pick lines, or I can use a combination of these shapes. In this case, I'm going to pick these 4 walls. Once done, I will click finish. If you did it correctly, then you will not face any issues. But if it doesn't work, let me show you what will happen if I do a mistake. Let's say I clicked pick wall and clicked somewhere else. Let's say this side. When I click finish, Revit shows that, well, there is an issue. There is an error in your sketch. The lines must be in closed loops. So, and it's even highlighting the endpoints, the open points of my lines.
Can you show again the right way?
Yes. So the right way of this is to pick walls and then make sure that the walls you're picking are in a closed loop. Otherwise, you'll end up with an open sketch. Yeah, another way to do it, if you press escape, just press escape twice, you can select everything by window, delete, to make sure that nothing is there. And go back to the same, select rectangle, for example, and create a rectangle from that corner to the other. That's another way to do it. And each of these ways has its cons and pros. For example, drawing with picking walls makes this floor attached to the walls, in a sense that if I select any of these walls and shift it, the wall is stretched with it. You can see the wall has already expanded the room size, and my floor is expanding with it. It's better to show you this in 3D. Now you can see my floor, and you can see that whenever I move my walls, the floor moves with it. Sometimes this is not what we need. You don't want your elements to be locked like this to avoid certain errors, but that is a different subject. For now, this is the correct way to create things.
Sir, can you show that again, how I lock the floor with the walls?
Yeah, you simply select the walls like this. Create the sketch based on walls by picking walls. One by one, I've picked them.
Yes.
And then click Finish Edit Model. If you don't have any errors, then that's fine. If you have errors, then you go back and fix it.
Yeah, I mean how when I stretch the room, how the
just click and drag. Just drag any wall, and you can see it.
Okay, so
yeah,
the
full
default
stretch.
way is that.
This is the default way. Yes, Revit is trying all the time to keep things connected and to keep your design in a connected way. Okay, so this is a different type of elements that you can actually create, which is sketch based. I'm not going to show each and every one of them because it will take too long.
Mostafa?
Yes, sure.
Just have a question about the floors, and also not only floors, it's about other elements like floor, like ceiling, like roof. What if I have a specific design with different levels? How
Okay.
I can create this? If
Well,
for example, floor, if I have some special design in floor with different levels.
mm-hmm. Yeah, there is an option for any of these floors. I can change its height offset from level. I can change it, or I can completely shift it to another level. Let's say this is on level 2. So you can see now I have a floor on that level 1, and I have another floor on level 2. I can keep it on level 1 with an offset, let's say 500 millimeters, and that makes it a little bit elevated. There are so many options for floors that we discuss in a separate session. We can even discuss how to change its edges.
When you're selecting the floor, you've got that arrow on the top of the floor. When I do that, it doesn't select. I have to go to the
Perfect
base
question.
of the floor. So
Thank you so much for the question. Okay, this happens because of these selection filters. Can you see the bottom right corner? This is what I like about questions, guys. You know, each one will teach us something when they ask a question. At the bottom right corner, you'll see select elements by face. I always have this on because this is how I like it, how I prefer it. If this is not clicked, then the only option to select elements is by going to its edges, but you cannot select it from the middle.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I am still in sketch mode.
You're
And I
still
cannot
okay.
put
Okay.
the-
Yeah, this happens a lot. If I'm in a sketch mode and let's say I decided not to go ahead and create this floor because I'm not into it anymore, then you simply go to that tab, the green tab, which says modify create floor boundary,
Yes.
and you can click cancel edit mode. Sometimes it will show an error message. You just click yes, no problem. You're welcome. Okay, another type of elements, maybe the last type of elements that we can create is the reference or datum elements, like this, datum. You can see in datum we have grid and level. There is another one as well, which is reference plane over here in the work plane. And these reference elements cannot be created in a 3D environment like this. I have to go back to a 2D view, maybe a plan or an elevation or section, and start creating my grids. Of course, can be created in a plan view. And you can see how smart Revit is in that case. And it's automatically numbering these grids.
Can you say again how you create the grids?
Okay, from architecture, datum, grid.
Architecture, then?
Datum,
Datum. Okay.
yes. At the right side, you'll see datum grid.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, if I want to change the numbering system from numbers to letters, then on the first one, I'm going to change it to a letter, let's say letter A, and then continue creating my grids. Of course, this is a random design, so it's not really organized right now. Do you have any questions for the grids?
How did it change from numbers to letters?
Just rename the first one.
Thank you, Mr. Mostafa.
You're welcome. Thank you. Just rename the first one, click the letter, and you can type in anything. Like I can type AA, for example. The next one is going to follow that that new thing. So it's BB now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Easy.
and so on.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Actually, Mr. Mostafa, this is a basic drawings.
Yes.
Actually, I have experience for this what you did.
Sure.
I need more experience. Yeah.
You need more advanced lessons. Okay. Yeah, we start with the basics, of course. But if
This is the basic thing.
yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that we have lots of advanced tutorials on massing and more advanced stuff. But this is not the place for it right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Sure. Yes.
I have a question about this grid lines. I see that the one you click, there's a 2D and a 3D. What does this means?
When you click the grid itself. Okay. 3D and 2D, this is for the extents of the grid. If the grid is on a 3D extent, that means this is the same end of the grid, the same length of the grid that you will see in all other levels. So if I switch to level 2, you'll see it's ending exactly at the same location. But if I switch to 2D and then change it, then it's only changing in this view. Now you can see that we have a 2D end, and this is the 3D end. And this does not affect all views.
Yes.
Sometimes you need it to end in a different location in different views for different reasons.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure. Yeah, we're almost done, so you can ask questions.
Section today, so I'm asking if we can take a broken section because I'm dealing with Revit and I don't know how to do it.
You're asking about what again?
Broken section. If I can break the section.
Open section. You mean a broken section?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have a section view like this, you can click split segment.
Split segment. Okay.
On the section.
Is it in 2019 or only 2020?
In all. Split segment for sections works in all. Since 2008, it's the same. You're welcome.
Sorry, where did you find that split section?
When you select a section, you will see the split segment.
In modify?
Yes, modify when you select the section itself. If you did not select a section, then you will not see that option. This is a context menu, so it works only with specific elements, like section view.
I have modify grids because I created a grid.
Yes, because you have a grid, so modify grid will not work with this. What I've created is section, so from view, section, right. And then you will see the option to create a split segment.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Going back to Revit terms, this is very essential as well. I need you to understand this if you're new to Revit. Revit has this hierarchy of data. So you have a category of the element, like roofs, columns, ceilings, floors, walls, things like that. These are categories. And you have families. Under these categories are families, which are the blocks that we've discussed. And families might be like a different shape of column, still a column, but it's a round column or a rectangular column. For doors, it might be a double door or a single leaf door. And then you have below that level is type, which type of the family you need. The type might be a different variation of dimension. You remember when we created this table, the dining table, we had a variation of 6 chairs, 8 chairs, or 10 chairs. So these are types of the same family. The lowest level is instances. I'm sorry?
When you said about the doors, can you just say that? Was it the previous slide?
Yes, if we have a door like this, this is a single flush door. If I need a different type of door, I could load family and select doors folder and maybe change it to change the type to something else. I need to load something else. Different dimension and different family. So these are two different families. Of course, I have an issue here because of this elevated floor. Now I fixed it. Okay, so you can see this is a different family of door, but they're still under the same category. The purpose of these categories is very essential to Revit because we do not have layers here. So if I want to change in my selection, let's say I've selected everything like that with a window. I've just selected everything. Let's say I want to modify only wall types. If I want to change this, then I need to click filter, this filter button or the lower one. And I can uncheck everything and select only walls. So this works similar to layers in AutoCAD. Once I've selected these walls, I can change its type to be something else. Let's say a 300mm wall. So the understanding these elements, these terms, category, family, type, and then instances is very important to start learning Revit. Any questions in that slide? Okay. Well, thank you all for attending, and as agreed, tomorrow we're going to continue learning the essentials. And if you have any questions, please drop me an email at info@revit-courses.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel to keep receiving the new videos, and I'm going to post the recording of this webinar as well. The offer that we've discussed earlier is still valid. So if you haven't already, then you should select one of these packages. Someone was asking yesterday about a different package for only advanced users. This will also be available based on request. So if you send me an email, ask for the advanced session that you need, what are the exact lectures you want to attend, or the lessons you want to learn, then I will send you a special offer for this.
Can I do a general question related to design?
Yeah, sure.
If I don't want to create a wall just by specific degrees, 90, 20, or whatever, how I can change that? For example, I know that in AutoCAD, when I start to create a line and I click Shift, I can do it based on a grid. If I don't click Shift, it's not particular to anything. Is there something similar?
Yes, of course, of course. If we start creating a wall, you can actually create it to any angle like this.
Okay.
We can even
So
create
just
different shapes. You can select, let's say, a tangent and arc and create something different.
So I can create, for example, any type of line that I want, and this will be automatically my wall. If
Yes.
I want to do any strange shape.
Yes, of course, of course.
So this component you're using now is just walls or lines?
No, these are actually walls.
Oh, walls.
Yep. Let
So I
me
have a
switch to
question
3D. You can see here.
About levels. Does level 1 mean the plane level, and then level 2 the height of the wall?
Well, level 1 and level 2 is what is set up in the default template by Revit. But usually in our standards or in our office, this is not what we have. We have the walking side level, or the sidewalk level, or the street level, and then we have ground floor, first floor, and so on. So we can create different levels as well. You can also rename these levels, which we discuss completely in the full course of Revit. You can rename these levels as well and change its height. You can create foundation levels, ceiling levels, whatever you like, up to your need.
Sorry, can you show me again how you created these curved walls? Which is the component you used?
The same. So I'm using a wall, just a basic wall.
Oh, I have to click on wall.
Yes, click wall first, and then you'll see modify place
Okay.
wall, and you can see all these options. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
One question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The courses that you're saying are going to be a group class or one-on-one class?
No, it's going to be a group class, but it's going to be longer sessions. So we usually have 2 hours session, and then we have almost 1 hour for questions and answers.
How many participants will be there per session?
Maximum 10.
Just curious to know.
Yeah, maximum 10.
Maximum 10. And another question, suppose if individuals' requirements are different, suppose one person is having basic Revit knowledge and another person wants an ultimate one or advanced one.
That is fine as well, because we have in this package, you can see in the packages, the ultimate level already includes everything in the first project, the build your first project. So if you want to attend the full package, it's better for you. Otherwise, I will limit your attendance to only the beginning of the course or half the course.
My requirement is a bit different. I will write an email to you on this.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, it has been a pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mostafa.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Mostafa, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Sorry, I have another question. It's based on what you showed us yesterday. When you created the camera in the 3D model, the line of the camera was not how to say, it was random. Just create a line. But if I want to be 90 degrees based on my wall, how can I do it in that way?
Well,
is my question clear or?
Yeah, I kind of understand it. But if I'm creating a camera, I'm thinking that a camera is not a rigid element. You know, it can be anywhere with any angle, because this is just a cone of it's showing you the angle of viewing.
Okay, basically it doesn't matter exactly the.
Yes, it can be anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you over there. Thank you. See you, Mr. Fadi. Thank you. Bye.
Mostafa, still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Sorry, I just was trying to ask you when the longer courses are gonna start. If that was booked yesterday, when do you expect it to start with them?
Yes, I'm considering starting sooner, so maybe in a week, because I still need to do the preparation of the course.
Okay.
Yes.
Just because I wasn't sure. That's fine. Thanks so much for your patience.
Thank you so
very
much. You're welcome.
See you tomorrow.
Nice to
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Sure. Yes, Mr. Fadi. Yes, Fadi. Yes.
Yes. Question: do you have any advanced Revit classes?
Yes, sure. Sure. The advanced classes. Let me show you.
I'm pretty much using Revit, but I wanted more like advanced courses.
Well, in the next level, we explain about the massing tool for sophisticated design, and this is a really interesting session. Most of my clients and my students like it so much. And we also explain how to create and edit your own families. So a family like the dining table that I've shown you today, you're going to create it from scratch. And you're going to learn how to make it flexible with different types of elements. And you can create more advanced elements as well. For the ultimate level, the most advanced course, I'm also adding things that might not be necessary for a normal architect. Maybe a BIM coordinator will be more interested into this, like managing Revit files, how to manage files, change its settings, and change overall materials, line weights, and everything. Really control your tools. And you'll also learn how to collaborate with other team members, like how to work on a bigger project with a central file in a bigger company. This is very important if you want to push your limit further. And the last thing is presentation as well. I know presentation and rendering is very important to many architects. So this is what I explain as well in the ultimate level.
Okay. All right. This is the ultimate level as well. When this will start?
Probably next week. I'm starting the sessions for these.
What time is the sessions? Sorry, I missed. I was late for this. Sorry.
Ah, never mind. Well, it's going to be the same time, almost the same time like this. After Ramadan, it's going to be different, of course. And I'm going to send a survey for the attendees to make sure that everyone agrees on a certain time. And it's going to be 3 times per week. Yeah,
How long is going to be this for?
it's going to be 15 sessions, 2 hours each, plus the questions and answers. So it's almost 45 hours. It's going to be also 3 days per week. So you will have 1 day to practice and 1 day to attend the session, because it's rather a long session and a lot of information is covered throughout the sessions.
Well, this is great. The only problem is, I work, so I don't know if I can take 2 hours. This is the exact 10:06. Well, right here is 10:06. I mean, 9, right? That will be 2 hours, you said.
Mm-hmm. So what is the time right now in your place?
Oh, I'm here in the United States. Right now.
Early morning.
10 a.m.
Yeah, I expected that. Okay. Well, I have a couple of other attendees as well from California, so they said that early morning is okay for them. So we'll have to figure out what works best for everyone.
Okay, how will I know that? Because for me, it works after 6. It's perfect. I get out from my job, or it can be early
After 6 p.m. you mean?
Or morning 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
It's a little earlier than we started this course.
Okay.
And I'll do that ultimate level, because I think that's the level that I am right now.
I see. Well, in any case, you're going to have the option to see the recording as well. I send the recordings directly to my students. So if there is a chance that you cannot attend a single session or something, I will send you the recording, and you will have the chance to have one-on-one Zoom meetings with me to have quick questions if you don't understand anything.
Okay, this is great. All right, so I just have to sign in, right?
Yes, and there is a code. I'm not sure if you can see it. This coupon code, because you will not see these prices on my website. You'll see on my website the original price. If you apply this code 40% off, then you will get the discount.
I don't see the code.
Okay, let me share. Okay, can you see it now?
Okay,
this one.
40%.
Yeah.
The code? 40%?
That's the code. Yes, it's 40% off. I made it simple.
Oh, okay. I thought that was okay.
Yeah, just type it in the coupon and it will give you the discount.
All right, perfect. In the slides, I can see it. You want to post it, right? You always posting these slides, the presentation for today, right?
Yes, the previous slides I've sent already, and I'm going to send these slides as well. Are you subscribed to my list? Do you receive emails from me?
Okay, last question. Inkscape?
Well, I'm using both.
Oh, Inkscape too? Okay, perfect.
Yes. Yeah, like this rendering was done in Inkscape, but I have different renders in Lumion.
Let me ask you a question. Sometimes, you know why? Okay, all right. I gotta call.
Never mind. Okay.
Hello? All right, thank you. Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, Ken? Yes, all right. Very good.
Excuse me, Mostafa.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I have an issue in my monitor. It's Revit 2020. When I hit the add-in transmit model,
Transmit model.
the pop-up shows, yes, the pop-up dialog box is too big, too large. I can't see the bottom portion.
Okay, maybe it's because of your screen resolution. Have you tried changing your screen resolution?
Not yet. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. You can actually share your screen with me. Let me allow that. Can you click the new share button? In Zoom application, you'll see the share button to share your screen.
This green one down below?
Yes, the green one.